used to lug this thing 2 hours on public transit to get to school. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Bex, a Canadian graphic designer, baker, and avid gamer. Today we are going to go through this big, huge, massive bin bag thing of some of my projects from the earlier years of my graphic design diploma. The first year, you weren't allowed to use anything computer related. You had to do everything by hand. Now, I wanted to be a doctor. I took sciences in high school and computer classes. I never took art. It wasn't my thing. I always thought I was not a creative person. So first year, I was absolutely terrified. Let's dig into some of these projects. I have not opened this in 10 years. So this is gonna be fun. So first up, we have some marker drawings. So we had drawing 1, drawing 2, I think we just had 2 drawing courses, and we had to do like still lifes and things like that. We had these really fancy Prismacolor markers that I was super in love with, and so we have this pumpkin illustration. Apparently I got an A. I was pretty proud of myself. Remember, I had no art classes, so this was a totally new, out of the element thing for me. Another one here is some a basket with some gourds and peppers and things. Apparently we got an A- on this one. Next up is this grayscale still life of what looks like a jacket and some shoes. Our Prismacolor markers had like 10% gray, 20% gray, which I thought was super cool. This one also, we got an A. Look at us go. Probably why I kept them in the bag. Another big thing in first and second year was typography classes. We had 3 different levels of typography that we had to take. In first year, it looks like we had to draw some lines and actually write out some letters. So we have this guy. What a neat activity. All right, what else do we have in the bin? This is a cute little tea package. This would have been in packaging design. Probably second year we would have done this. It's a little bit skewed. I'm surprised that it lasted in the box. I always loved packaging design because you got to include the nutritional facts. In Canada, they're pretty legislated, so we had to make sure we were following all of the guidelines and include it in our packaging. That's pretty cute. Smells good still. Honestly, I'm a little bit concerned that this has been in this bag for 10 years, but might as well keep it in there. This is actually one of my favorite projects that I did in first year. We had to mount them on this board and put a flap on them. This was the way we had to hand in our presentations. On the back, there is a little bit of a description, and this project was to create an alphabet book. So we created an alphabet book about the Canadian military, and we would have painted this with gouache paint, gouache, however you say that. I remember being very proud of this. I liked the fact that I used a black board and then layered the gray on top. When I think of design school and my first year experience, this is definitely the one project that comes to mind that I'm super proud of. I used to like to use the phrase spectacular designs. This looks like it was a photography postcard, so we have some fun photos that I took and then just a quick little hand-done postcard there. Okay, so I've gone through and pulled out some of the projects. There's quite a few. We're just gonna run through them really quickly. And yeah, I'm excited for these. This guy was a type specimen project where we had to showcase different elements of a font and kind of give some background. I chose Futura. I was obsessed with Century Gothic in high school. Clearly that carried over. Futura is very similar to Century Gothic. This was for an applied design class, I believe. We had to Photoshop ourselves into a band. So there is good old Rebecca in the band Paramore. I'm right in the middle there. I think we did a pretty good job. So this next one was for, I believe, an editorial class. We had to come up with like a punny title and emulate that through our design. We have this fun little cover photo of me with the most crazy hair, and it's called Even the Most Unruly Things Can Be Tamed, and it was about obedience training for dogs. So we have this little spread here. This was a poster for a festival, kind of dark and feathery, but kind of cute. I like it. This was a cover for a design magazine. Very simple and minimalist, very my kind of style. There was also 2 other covers that we had to design. They looked terrible, so we'll just leave them out of that. This looks like it was for editorial class. We just had to design a spread. I really like the artwork here. I wish I could credit wherever that came from. I think that it was some stock photography we layered with a bunch of colors and stuff, so we kind of created the overall vibe, but the photos themselves were stock. This is a really cute branding set. So it's an envelope, business cards, and a letterhead. I really like it. It's called Urban Interiors. The thing I really like about this one too is, you probably can't tell, but I actually mounted each individual piece on their own piece of card and then layered it on card, so it presents quite nice. It like pops off the page. This would have been for Applied Design. It is a magazine cover. So again, that's our own photography on the top, and we would have layered everything on there. This guy here was for a digital illustration class. I wish I knew what the project was, but we had to illustrate something opposite, so the water's actually flowing up from the faucet. This again would have been for an editorial class. I really liked to just have one pop of color on a lot of my pieces. I also really like this tagline that I have here. It's simplistic, logical design solutions. I wholeheartedly still believe that to this day. Keep it simple, stupid. It's an oft-repeated phrase, though challenging advice to follow. Truer words have never been spoken. So this would have been a really early on class because the design is terrible, but it was all about type hierarchy and making sure that your eye goes to the proper information in the proper order. Again, type hierarchy, the most important skill in design, I believe. So this is another piece of editorial design. We had a photography class, so this is all my own photography as well that we would have done in the studio with my best friend from college named Sam. So this is called the Business Clash. I really like these photos in here. I think the whole piece actually looks quite good. It definitely emulates a specific vibe. This was for advertising a bug repellent wristband. Our tagline here is play, laugh, dream, bug free. And then the concept was that we would incorporate the bug repellent band in the designs. And so you can see it in the flowers there. I thought this was quite smart. I definitely really enjoy this design solution, and I like, again, the type hierarchy on the side here. This type down at the bottom here though, terrible font choice. This was, you had to create like journal pages. I really like the words of the book in the hearts. So this was for another typography class. We had to design a cookbook. I like the colors, very simplified color scheme. The tracking between this section here though, not best. Definitely could have been improved. And also you can't really see the yellow, so that was a terrible color choice. Another really cool thing about our first year projects mounting them on these boards was we would later in second year, you would have to mount tracing paper over them so that your teachers could mark up the design, which I thought was pretty neat. It's really cute to see the feedback. So this was a branding set for a company called Small Seeds, so we would have designed the logo and everything too. I really loved to line the envelopes. The few stationery sets I've done for weddings, I always line the envelopes, usually with wrapping paper because it's a nice, cheap, affordable solution. So this next project, we had to create kind of an advertisement for our design program. I went through a phase where I was really into this very blocky column type of text. And these next three are probably some of my favorites in the bag that we have. This next one, we had to create branding for our graduating classes art show. Basically, we'd rent out a studio in downtown Toronto and people would get to showcase their pieces. And so the winning project got their design actually implemented for the gallery, and it was printed, and it was the branding for the whole art exhibition when we put it up. I did not win, but I put together this set. So I think it's pretty cute. I have a little description on the back. The concept between my design show is a play between both the 10th anniversary year and the pirate phrase X marks the spot. X is the Roman numeral for 10, thus acknowledging that it is in fact an anniversary year. Furthermore, in terms of pirates, X marks the spot where this treasure is buried. The design show features designs by our third year graduates, which can be said to be some of our program's greatest treasures. To tie this theme in further, there is a subtle outline in the background that roughly resembles a map outline and various X's scattered throughout. So this would have been a banner that hung from the ceiling, this middle one would have been the poster, and then this would have been the project identifiers in the gallery. This next project I think was also a part of our advertising design class. We have this cute little ice cube and it says "Save the Ice." Oh, I think this is so simple and so sweet. It is an advertising piece for a global cause. We focused on global warming. Again, the type hierarchy. I really loved focusing on making sure the type looked really great. I honestly think that type and typography and type hierarchy is the key to a polished design. Probably, perhaps the coolest project that we had in design school was we had to create a designer manifesto. So something that kind of guided who we were as a designer and what we stood for. And so mine was called Be the Sunrise. It's a very organic design. I was big on hand lettering, super pastels. As you can see, I'm sure you're not surprised, there's lots of pink, which is something that still is something that I hold dear to as a designer and as a person and kind of as my overall vibe and aesthetic. This was cute. I really liked this project. It says, "Designers are like candles. We light up things that are otherwise boring. It's not always about selling a product. It's about making something stand out, making something beautiful." And then kind of my 6 overarching pillars were use white space, be honest, make it playful, keep it simple, don't regret, and have faith. And then the tagline here is, "Don't aim to be just a candle. Be the sunrise instead." Man, I was a smart cookie back in college. I think I should put this up in my wall. What do you guys think? And so there we have it. Projects from my first and second year of college. Man, these are so much fun to go through. I'm so happy I kept them because it's really cool to see where I was as a designer and kind of where I've got to. It's totally re-sparked the creativity inside of me and made me super excited and inspired about design again. So thank you for watching this video. If you guys are in design school or have recently graduated or are designers yourself, please leave a comment down below because I'd love to check out some of your work. Let me know what your favorite project was or what stood out to you the most. Check out my senior year portfolio here. This would have been the portfolio that I put together that got me my diploma in this program and kind of kickstarted this whole crazy adventure that I've been on since then. So anyways, thanks again for watching. I'm so excited that you're here and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!